Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're taking a deep dive into the career of an absolute global icon, Cristiano Ronaldo. You know, with what's almost certainly his last World Cup just around the corner, we're not just going to look back at what he did. Nope, we're going to break down the actual blueprint of what makes a legend.
All right, here's how we're going to do it. First, we'll look at something he's doing off the pitch that might surprise you. Then we'll trace that legendary journey, crunch some absolutely insane numbers, relive his triumphs with Portugal, and finally, figure out just how he built the CR7 global empire. Let's get into it.
So kicking things off with Section 1, Beyond the Pitch, a surprising new arena. Yeah, to really get who this guy is, we're actually not going to start on the football pitch. We're starting with something he did recently that made a lot of people scratch their heads.
So get this. In late 2025, Ronaldo announced he's buying a piece of the MMA promotion WFC. And his reason? Well, he said it himself. MMA represents everything I firmly believe in: discipline, respect, resilience, and the constant pursuit of excellence. Now you've got to ask, right? Why is a football guy getting into combat sports? Well, stick with me, because that quote, that right there is the key to understanding everything about him.
And that brings us right to Section 2, the journey to greatness, forging a legend across Europe. Because the answer to that why is in the journey itself. His whole career is built on those exact same words: discipline, resilience, and excellence.
I mean, look at this path. It's just a masterclass in conquering Europe's biggest leagues. He started as this flashy kid at Sporting CP in 2002, then just exploded onto the world scene at Manchester United a year later. From there, he became an unstoppable goal-scoring machine at Real Madrid, went on to conquer Italy with Juventus, and now he's in his latest chapter at Al Nassr. Every single move was a new league, a new challenge, and every single time he proved himself using that discipline and resilience he talks about.
But, it's not just about the different jerseys he wore. It's about the numbers. The absolutely mind-bending numbers he put up everywhere he went. And that takes us to Section 3, a legacy in numbers, the undeniable statistics. Okay, let's start with the big one, the award for the best player on the planet, the Ballon d'Or. He's won it 5 times. Let that sink in for a second. That is more than any European player ever. We're talking about almost 2 decades of being at the very, very top of the game. And then there's this number, 954. That's how many official goals he scored for his clubs and his country. That isn't just a high score, folks. That puts him in a tiny elite group of the greatest goal scorers in the history of football. It's just a ridiculous testament to his hunger and how long he's been able to do it.
But here's what's really crazy to me. It's not just that he scored a lot of goals, it's where he did it. He was the top scorer in England's Premier League. Then he went to Spain and won their top scorer award, the PPC, 3 times. Then he moved to Italy and became top scorer of the Capocannoniere there too. Think about that. He's the only player in the history of the sport to be the goal king in England, Spain, and Italy. That's insane.
And this chart really drives it home. Scoring over 100 goals for a massive club is a huge deal. Well, he did it for 3 of them. 101 goals for Juventus, 145 for Manchester United. And then, just look at that Real Madrid bar. 450 goals. I mean, come on. 450 goals would be a legendary Hall of Fame career for anyone at just one club. He did that and more.
And believe it or not, the list just keeps going. Most goals ever for a national team? That's him. Most goals in the Champions League, the biggest club competition in the world? Him again. He's the first guy to ever score in five different World Cups. And then there's this last one, over 1,300 professional games. That's not just talent. That's an insane level of dedication to keeping his body in peak condition. Just incredible.
But you can't tell the story of Ronaldo without talking about what he did for his country. And that's what Section 4 is all about. Glory for Portugal, the national hero. Because for the Portuguese people, he is so much more than just a footballer. He's a legend. I mean, his commitment to playing for Portugal is just off the charts. He's played more games for his country than any other male player in the history of football. 226 times he's put on that jersey. That's the kind of passion and dedication you just don't see very often.
And all that dedication, it paid off in the biggest way possible. In 2016, he led Portugal as captain to their first major trophy ever, the European Championship. That was a moment for the history books. And he wasn't done. A few years later, he did it again, leading them to win the very first Nations League. He basically ushered in a golden age for Portuguese football.
Okay, so all of that success on the pitch, all the goals, the records, the trophies, it built the foundation for something that's arguably even bigger. And that's what we're getting into in our final section, the CR7 global brand, more than an athlete.
And this really lays it out, doesn't it? On one side, you've got the athlete, the raw stats, 954 goals, 34 trophies, 5 Ballon d'Ors. Just staggering. But then he took all of that and built the icon. He turned his on-field greatness into huge partnerships with global brands, his own CR7 line of products. Basically, he created a level of worldwide influence that almost no other athlete has ever touched.
Yeah, he really did evolve beyond just sports to become this massive global brand icon. And this brings us all the way back to the beginning, doesn't it? That MMA investment? Suddenly it makes perfect sense. His entire brand is built on those same ideas: excellence, resilience, discipline. It shows that the mindset that made him a legend on the field is the exact same one he's using to build his empire off it. So, as he gets ready to step onto the world's biggest stage for probably the last time, you have to wonder, what will people remember most? For a guy who completely changed the definition of excellence in football, what is his ultimate legacy going to be? Is it the unbelievable goal records? Is it being the hero who brought glory to Portugal? Or is it the global business powerhouse he became? You know, maybe the real legacy is that blueprint we talked about. The one that shows every athlete coming after him how to be so much more than just a player.